In the land of Israel, under the yoke of Philistine oppression, hope flickered like a fragile flame. A barren woman, Manoah's wife, received a divine visitation. An angel appeared before her, a messenger from the Almighty. He bore tidings of extraordinary joy, a promise that her womb, long barren, would bear a son. This son, the angel declared, would be no ordinary man. He would be set apart, consecrated to God from birth as a Nazirite. His uncut hair, a symbol of his sacred vow, would be the source of his immense strength. This strength, God's gift, would be Israel's salvation. He would be the champion destined to break the chains of Philistine tyranny. Manoah and his wife, awestruck and humbled, received this divine decree with a mixture of trepidation and elation. The weight of the prophecy settled upon them. They knew their lives and the fate of their people were about to change irrevocably. A hero was coming. His name would be Samson. Samson grew, and as he did, the Spirit of God stirred within him. His strength, legendary even in his youth, was a fearsome thing to behold. It was during a journey to the Philistine territory that Samson first truly revealed the extent of his God-given power. A young lion, roaring its defiance, blocked Samson's path. Fear was alien to this son of Israel. With bare hands he faced the beast. The earth trembled as these titans clashed. Samson's grip, empowered by the Lord, proved mightier than the lion's ferocity. Bones crunched under the pressure of his grip. The lion, symbol of Philistine might, lay lifeless at his feet. Later, drawn by a strange compulsion, Samson returned to the site of his victory. A hive buzzing with activity had formed within the carcass of the lion. He ate of the honey, sweet reward from a bitter battle. It was a taste of the power that coursed through his veins, a power that would be both his blessing and his burden. Samson's heart, however, was not immune to earthly desires. He was captivated by a Philistine woman, her beauty a siren song to his soul. Their marriage, a union across enemy lines, would be the kindling for a fire that would consume them both. At the wedding feast, Samson, emboldened by wine and love's illusions, challenged the Philistine guests with a riddle. Woven into the fabric of his triumph over the lion, the riddle held a secret only he knew. The Philistines, their pride wounded, resorted to treachery. They coerced Samson's bride, threatening her and her family to pry the answer from his lips. Betrayed by the woman he loved, his trust shattered, Samson's fury erupted. The laughter of the feast turned to screams. He sought vengeance for the deceit, laying waste to their celebrations. 30 Philistine men, their lives forfeit for the betrayal, paid the price for his broken heart and his broken trust. The flames of vengeance, once ignited, refused to be quenched. Samson, his heart hardened by betrayal, sought to punish the Philistines for their treachery. His love for the Philistine woman had curdled into a bitter hatred for her people. He returned to find his bride given to another, a cruel twist of the knife in his already wounded soul. The Philistines, blinded by their arrogance, failed to grasp the depths of his wrath. They had awakened a storm they could not control. With cunning born of rage, Samson devised a plan of fiery retribution. He captured 300 foxes, tying burning torches to their tails. As night fell, he unleashed them into the Philistine fields. The crops, their livelihood, were consumed in an inferno of Samson's making. The air reeked of smoke and the stench of fear. Samson, standing amidst the inferno, was a fearsome spectacle of righteous fury. Section 5. The Jawbone's Vengeance. 1,000 Philistines fall. The Philistines, their patience exhausted, mobilized their forces. They marched on Judah, seeking to crush the source of their misery. Samson, his anger a tempestuous storm, would not back down. He stood as a one-man army, ready to meet their challenge. On a rocky hillside, the armies clashed. The Philistines, confident in their numbers, charged towards Samson. He stood his ground, a seemingly insignificant figure against the tide of war. But the Spirit of the Lord was upon him, imbuing him with terrifying strength. He found a weapon, as unlikely as it was deadly, the jawbone of a donkey. With this crude instrument, he waded into the heart of the Philistine ranks. Each swing of the jawbone was a death knell, crushing bone and pulverizing flesh. 1,000 Philistines fell before his wrath, their bodies strewn across the battlefield like fallen grain. Samson stood triumphant, a warrior king drenched in the blood of his enemies. Section 6, Delilah's charms, whispers of love and treachery. Yet even in victory danger lurked. Samson, for all his strength, possessed a fatal weakness, his heart. The Philistine lords, desperate to neutralize the threat he posed, resorted to a different kind of weapon, seduction. Delilah, a woman of captivating beauty and cunning, was their chosen instrument. She wove a web of charm and deceit around Samson, playing on his affections, whispering false promises of love. Blinded by her beauty, he revealed his heart's secrets to her. The Philistine lords, lurking in the shadows, offered Delilah a king's ransom for the secret of Samson's strength. Blinded by greed and ambition, she betrayed the man who had laid his heart bare before her. Night after night she pestered him, her feigned concern masking her treacherous intent. Section 7, Shorn and Shackled. The strongest brought low. Finally, weary of her relentless questioning and intoxicated by her deceitful affection, Samson yielded. He revealed the source of his prodigious power, his uncut hair, the symbol of his Nazirite vow. It was a secret he had guarded his entire life, and in a moment of weakness he surrendered it to the woman he believed loved him. As he slept, his head cradled in her lap, Delilah summoned the Philistine agents. They sheared his hair, severing the covenant that bound him to his God and was the source of his strength. He awoke, his strength drained, a prisoner in his own body. The Philistines, their prize finally within their grasp, descended upon him. They blinded him, extinguishing the light that had once shone so brightly within him. Samson, once the mighty deliverer, was now a captive, his spirit broken, his body shackled. Section 8, Redemption in Ruins, Samson's final stand. They brought him to Gaza, a trophy to parade before their mocking crowds. They chained him to a millstone, forcing him to grind grain, a cruel mockery of his former glory. But even in his humiliation, Samson's spirit began to stir. His hair, the symbol of his covenant with God, began to grow. One day, during a grand festival in honor of their god, Dagon, the Philistines brought Samson to their temple. They wanted one final spectacle, one last chance to revel in the humiliation of their enemy. Blind and bound, Samson was led into the heart of the temple, the jeers of the crowd echoing around him. But Samson, his spirit renewed, had one final act of defiance. He called out to God, "O Lord God, remember me, I pray. Strengthen me, I pray, just this once, O God, that I may with one blow take vengeance on the Philistines for my two eyes." He grasped the two central pillars that supported the temple, his powerful arms straining against the weight of the structure. With a roar that shook the very foundations of the temple, he pulled. The pillars crumbled, the roof caved in, and the temple, along with thousands of Philistines, collapsed in upon itself. Samson, in death, found his redemption. He had fulfilled his destiny, breaking the chains of oppression, even if it meant the ultimate sacrifice. His story, a tale of strength, betrayal, and divine will, continues to resonate through the ages, a testament to the power of faith, the allure of temptation, and the enduring spirit of the human heart.